Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to English Tutor Class, ETC as I like to call it. And this behind me is the Library of Celsus. Now, if you get a chance, check this out. This is in Ephesus, Turkey, and I'm actually the one who took that photo. And I stood way back at an angle and took that shot. And it was a nice sunny day. And I think it was close to 3 months in Turkey. And what an amazing country. If you ever get a chance, go to Turkey. If you're a traveler and you love to travel, go to Turkey. All right. So, welcome. And my goal is to help you to sound like a native English speaker. Okay. And I've discovered that two of the most important things that you're going to need to achieve that is you need to train to hear syllable sounds, okay? And I always give this deep breath. And it's so important, and I feel like a broken record saying these things, but this is what it's going to take. You have to study these things. And so many teachers have failed their students by not teaching this. And that's often why their English sounds like this and a native's English will sound like this, because the natives were taught to hear and to speak syllable sounds using intonation. Now, there's a different intonation often used in stress for people that are in the US, people that are in Australia, people that are in England. If you want to learn a language from somebody, I highly recommend picking one accent. Why one accent? Because if you learn from an American here, an Aussie here, a Brit here, and somebody else from, say, South Africa here, everyone's going to try to correct your accent. And it's going to be the long way around to get to be a fluent English speaker. So, my suggestion to you is find the accent that you want. Maybe it's from this group in Africa. Maybe it's South African accent. Maybe that's what you want. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Choose the accent you want and go from here to here in a straight line. Pick that style accent from those speakers and learn that. You only need one accent to be fluent, okay? So my suggestion is pick an accent, become fluent, and then if you want to learn from the other accents, then by all means do that. Then you know the differences between your accent and then the accent from these different folks. It just makes it so much easier, okay? And I've never really said that before to my students online, but I say that to my other students that I tutor, and it's very important. Okay, so today's dialogue is related to reservations. All right, need an S here, I suppose. Reservations. All right, reservations. Okay, we need a good Z sounding S. Z, double it up. Reservations. 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 Notice I intonate on each syllable. Reservations. Reservations. You can intonate any way you want, but I suggest adding intonation to each one that changes. Instead of reservations, reservations, which is flat, make it come up and down. Reservations. All right, let's get some dialogue going here. Today is my Monday, which is your Tuesday. Not that that's confusing. So welcome. Welcome to anyone that has just arrived. So hello. Hello. I'd like to book I'd like to book a flight to New York, please. And B could answer and say, sure. When would you like to depart? And A could ask and say, next Friday. If possible. All right. So how are we doing? Yeah, let's. All right. So we'll stop here and we'll continue after I wipe it and restart. All right. Let's find our syllables. Hello. I'd like to book a flight to New York, please. Sure. When would you like to depart? Next Friday, if possible. Possible. Whoops, we need a bigger space. Okay. All right. Here's the rule. Lay out your dialogue. Look at the sentences. Find the syllables. Do. Those are the steps. Once we find the steps, learn to speak the syllable sounds. Hello. I'd like to book a flight to New York, please. If your syllable sounds are strong, you can intonate them. Hello. Now we add the intonation. I'd like to book a flight to New York, please. Sure. When would you like to depart? Sure. When would you like to depart? Next Friday, if possible. Next Friday, if possible. Next Friday, if possible. All right, we found our syllables. We know how to say the syllable sounds, but let's practice one last time. Now, when I was taught syllables, we clapped the syllables. A lot of my adult students are like, Vern, I'm not going to clap the syllables. You don't have to, but you have to hear the syllable sounds separately, start to finish. New syllable, start to finish. Why? Because you're training your brain to hear a sound. And if you push the sounds together too fast, if you rush this step because you're in a hurry, you won't get it. Okay? You have to do this. So, possible, 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 Friday, Friday, depart, depart, hello, hello, reservations. Notice I added the Z sounding S twice. Reservations. Reservations. Okay? Now it sounds perfect. If you learn it slowly, you can speak it slowly. If you never learn the sections, you can't say it slowly. And then you lose the ability to master English speaking. Because oftentimes you are going to want to say the word slowly. Yes, I think I just made reservations. Instead, you'd have to say it fast. And it would lose the emotion, the context, and the ability to really connect. Okay, so slow English has more value than fast English. Everybody wants to learn fast English, and that's okay. You can do it, but you have to master speaking syllables slowly. Once you can say them slowly and clearly, and you know where those footsteps are, you can speak it fast. But I only recommend speaking it fast to the point that your syllables are still strong. You still have that rhythm. Hello, I'd like to book a flight to New York, please. Sure. When would you like to depart? Next Friday, if possible. I wouldn't speak any faster than that because you lose your rhythm. Many people say English has a rhythm. Yes, it does. Okay? And the rhythm is using the syllable steps. All right. I'll say it one more time, and then we're going to add more dialogue to this. Hello, I'd like to book a flight to New York, please. Sure. When would you like to depart? Next Friday, if possible. All right, so let's continue the dialogue. And if you haven't already, do me a favor, would you? Boop that like button. Like and subscribe. And why is that important? Because it helps other students to find these videos that might not find them otherwise. Because YouTube only promotes channels and videos if people are engaging. If nobody's engaging, it's hard to get promoted. It takes a long time to grow. So if you could do those things, the future students would thank you, and I would be forever grateful. So thank you. And welcome to any new people that have come and to those that have returned. It's so nice to have you. Welcome, everyone. All right, so let's get back into it. So B could answer and say, all right, let me check the availability availability, availability. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Ability. I want you to find the syllables for this word. And I'll come back and we'll check and see if you're right. Availability. Okay? All right, well, let me put this a little bit bigger here. Okay, B-I-L-I-T-Y. All right. All right, let me check the availability. And then they came back and said, yes, we have several options. What time would you prefer? What time would you prefer? And A could answer and say, morning. I prefer the morning, please. I would, whoops. I would prefer the morning. Okay, so we have our basic dialogue, and this is just a continuation from the last one. All right, all right. There's our syllable. Let me check the availability. Avail, bill, t. Availability. 6 syllables here. Now, what makes a syllable? This part here, veil, if you look at it, it has 2 vowels. So what does that mean? Can you have 2 vowels in a syllable? Yes. Why? Because there's only one vowel sound. It's an A sound. Veil, veil, has an A sound. Veil, but we kind of double the L when we say availability. Same with this L. Ability, availability, I'm sorry, here we go. Yeah, this is why we clap it. Availability. 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 Now the train gets going. That's the key. Learn it slow. Hear it slow. Don't rush the process. Once you get it, you can master it, and then you are the champion. You can do whatever you want with your English syllables if you learn them slowly. You can do anything. But if you rush it, if you're like availability of it, if you rush it, you lose it. You can't you can't get it. So learn it slow. That's my super tip for the year, not for today, for the year. All right, let me check the availability. Yes, we have several, sever, sever, sev, se, sever. I'm going to put it here. Several. Gosh, this is a tricky one to find the syllables. Several. But you double the V and you double the R. Several. Yes, we have several options. Options. Oh, I want my P over here a little bit. Let me see. Let's do an options. There we go. Options. Yes, we have several options. What time would you prefer? That's an easy one, just right after the pre. Prefer. I would prefer the morning. Oftentimes, ing is by itself. That's an easy one to find the syllable. Morning, please. All right, let's bring it to life. Syllables have intonation, so we must intonate. All right. Let me check the availability. All right, let me check the availability. Yes, we have several options. What time would you prefer? I would prefer the morning. Now double this N sound. Morning. It's easier to say morning than it is to say morning. It sounds weird, right? And that's often why we double a consonant letter sound, because it just helps it to flow into the next syllable sound, okay? I would prefer the morning, please. All right, let's start from the beginning. All right, let me check the availability. Yes, we have several options. What time would you prefer? I would prefer the morning, please. All right, so this live stream that I do basically goes from 6 until 6:20, and then I take a 10-minute break and I restart the stream again, and I go from 6:30 until 7. And this repeats every Tuesday, Travel Topic Tuesday, and it's at Beijing time. Now, in the future, I may change the time, but for me, this is kind of the time that works for where I'm living now. And if you haven't already, go back and check the backlog of videos. There are probably, I think we're on Travel Topic Tuesday 12 or 13. So that means we double that because there's 2 each day. So that means there's probably, I want to say 24, average 24 videos that there are just for English traveling dialogue. And I also recommend watching the other videos because I will teach syllable sounds and how to intonate using different vocabulary words that you're also going to need for speaking English, and super important. And it's just something that not very many teachers do. Often a teacher will give you a syllable for a word or two, but they don't teach you how to speak through it. And yeah, that's why the English sounds so different. But here, you're going to get trained how to do that. And that's my passion and my heart. And I found for me, it's the number one thing that my students need that nobody's doing. And it's the thing that unless you have a neutral voice, then the value isn't as valuable, because a neutral accent, everybody can understand. And if you have a neutral accent and you need to be understood by everyone, that's what you want to learn, okay? And not that anyone is any better than anybody else, but that's it's easiest to understand, and that's really where it's at. So, all right, well, it's time to go. It's 6:20, and what I always say is, I will see you in the next live stream. Be there or be square. Gotta go.